Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the Knox County Commissioners meeting, April 3rd, 2025. One of the first things that we're doing in this meeting is that we have a 10 o'clock a.m. bid opening for what I call the Amity Danville Road. It says Danville Amity, but being resident of Amity when my younger years, Amity always took priority over Danville. So anyway, this is phase 2 of the safety improvements. We have people that are still signing in on the roster as to who's in attendance for the bids. And the bids is down here to my left to Commissioner Katsi. And we will start opening those after we get a few more signatures here. We'll see that we get it done. So anyway, bid opening for the Danville Amity Road. And
Bill, you might go ahead and say to the engineer's estimate on this project. So
yes, the engineer's estimate for this project for the Danville Amity Road is $3,596,850.10. $3,596,850.10. Now, why the engineer had to add that 10 cents, I'm not sure. What talk to Glenn on that.
critical.
Yeah.
Profit margin.
Yeah. Get to the right sheet. See a sign here, so that's probably it. This bid is from.
It's at the bottom of the bid form, Bill. Bottom where the numbers at.
There. Yes, the Law General Contractor, Inc. Law General Contractor. This bid is for $3,082,561.73. $3,082,561.73.
And that company again.
Law General Construction.
Pass it down to Bill. That one, please. Thank you.
Swatch agenda. Okay, the next bid that we have is from Smalls Asphalt. Smalls Asphalt, and their bid is $3,911,131.63. $3,911,131.63. That was from Smalls Asphalt. And I believe this is our last bid. And this is from Brentstall Construction. Brentstall. Okay. Bid. Brentstall Construction is $3,513,398.05. $3,513,398.05. That's Brentstall Construction. Is that the three we have? Okay. Clint will take those back to the engineering office. We'll review the bid packets for any details that may be accurate and deviant, and we'll report back to the commissioners for us to award the bid at that time. So
Thank you guys.
thank you everyone for bidding. See you, Rob.
Thanks.
Oh, I didn't sign it.
Yeah, you
You
will.
sign me?
We'll have to track
You
you
got-
down.
Good to see you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
Nice
Brenda.
to see you.
Sorry, I didn't
Thank
see you
you.
guys yet. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good
Hopefully
day.
Clint gets on it. and I see it in a month again.
Hey, Rob, did you sign the sheet?
She's signing it.
Yes.
Oh, she's signing it. Okay, good.
She got
Okay.
it.
Always good to have good help.
Yes, well, you can read that signature.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, everyone. So have Joe Porter with us, mobility management update. So Joe, it's forward to you.
Good morning. I wanted to stop in and give everybody an update on what's happening in mobility management. I know over the last few months, there's been a lot of transportation things flying around and everything. So we've got, of course, a couple of new commissioners. So I just want to give you an idea of what the mobility management program is.
Mhm.
Bill will tell you that I can talk and talk and talk. So just whenever you want me to stop, just say so. Okay. So I brought you a little packet with some information in it. I gave essentially the same update to the city council last week on where things are. We've got a lot of projects in the works. So the first thing is, what is mobility management? Mobility management essentially is a program that connects people with transportation resources. Okay. And that works through a number of different avenues, whether it's something that has wheels on it, whether it's bike trails, whether it's water, whether it's whatever. I work a lot, the program works a lot with senior citizens, with disabled, with low income. I work with all the transportation agencies in the county. I work with what's coming up to be Knox County Transit, JFS, Station Break, all of those programs. And the program itself, mobility management program, is primarily funded through Federal Transit Administration funding. It's a pass-through grant through ODOT. It was for 6 years with CAT under the commissioners, I think. July of last year, the program moved over to Knox Public Health. So it's a Knox Public Health program now. It's a yearly grant. So hopefully we'll get the grant approved and we'll have the program again for next year. Just some of the things that we're working on, and I put a draft copy of our last Transportation Advisory Committee meeting minutes in there. I spoke to Mr. Lester at the beginning of the meeting a little bit, and he is going to represent, he'll sit on the Transportation Advisory Committee representing the county. Some things that we're working on right now, we have a pretty big hole when it comes to affordable transportation outside of the county. Inside the county, we're in really good shape. Outside of the county, if you have a specialist medical appointment, or if you need to get to OSU or this and that or whatever, it's pretty expensive no matter how you slice it. So one of the things that we're doing, we've created we've got a subcommittee going that's working on a program to hopefully be able to acquire some funding to help offset the cost of out-of-county transportation for medical appointments. That program is in its infancy. We're working collaboratively with the group inside the Transportation Advisory Committee to get something together on that. So more to come on that. We've started a program called Project Sidewalk. Project Sidewalk is a crowdsourced, computer-based Google Street View program, to where right now they've got it set up in the city of Mount Vernon. We're working on getting into the other villages and the areas where we have Google Street View. But essentially, you can go in and you can log into that system, and you can sit in front of your computer for 10 or 15 minutes, and you can review intersections and sidewalks and all that sort of stuff and make notes. Do they have curb cuts? Do they have this? Do they have that? And then there's a next step to it where somebody else will log in and they will review and validate what you did. We've got word back from ODOT and all the others of powers that be that information is valid to be used for studies and planning. And of course, trying to find alternative funding to get some of those projects done. So, and to give you an idea, this is a really, really important thing. And we see it a lot in Mount Vernon. We also see it out in the rural areas and stuff too. But I see folks in power wheelchairs driving up and down Stockton Avenue.
Yeah.
We're looking, and I know Bethany's working on some fixed routes and stuff going on, and there's a lot of things going on with, well, where do you put a bus stop? People need to be able to have a sidewalk or a pathway or something to be able to get to a bus stop to get on the bus. So, I live up on the north end of Mount Vernon. We have no sidewalks. Yeah, I have a neighbor that's in a power wheelchair. He's up and down Mulberry Street all the time. So that's a project we're working with. We work with Get Healthy Knox County and their active transportation plan. Right now we actually have more than one transportation plan that affects Knox County from like 5 different organizations. So I'm trying to get all that coordinated as well. You and I have talked about that a little bit, haven't we? So that's going on. We're working, we've got some things moving forward with Knox Community Hospital to help with some of their patient transportation discharge solutions. So we're working a lot of that stuff out. We just have all sorts of things going on. My philosophy is if we all work together, we may get some things accomplished. And I will tell you that I'm trying to get all the transportation providers on the same page, and that's kind of fun.
And the resistance of the multiple transportation people, that
Mhm.
you spoke, is it because of it's a money issue, or is it just don't want to do it? I mean, why wouldn't you want to be? all
Yeah,
together?
I don't know. I think a lot of it is trying to change the past, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all getting things coordinated. And again, and George and Crystal are sitting back here, and when I was in my former when I was fire chief and we created a joint fire district, the premise behind that was people coming together and
Sure.
working together and everything, and that's what we're trying to do here. I don't know, Barry. I think a good bit of it has to do with just trying to get everybody together at the same time.
But you don't think it's a funding, like everybody's getting funded and?
No, I think because really when it comes to the cost of transportation in and out of the county, it varies depending on what service you use. In county, Knox County Transit is your most cost effective. Out of county, there's some other options that may be a little more cost effective. Station Break is very cost effective out of county for our senior citizens. One of the things that we have with some of the affordable transportation is they don't have a lot of availability. So, but getting all the transportation providers on the same page, I'll get there. I can be pretty tenacious and stuff like that. But, just trying to work out and get everybody on board with understanding what my program is and what my office is, if you will. If Mrs. Kesey was trying to find transportation somewhere and she called Jason's transportation service and Jason says, well, I'm sorry, I can't, I can't help you out. So, it's a tough thing, but I can't help you. So instead of that, maybe Jason could say, well, I can't help you out, but if you call the mobility management office, and then I have a whole book full of resources to where I can try to find you that transportation resource. So instead of just leaving you hanging, if you will, run it through me and we'll see what we can do.
So how do they contact you?
I have, and I put a lot of miles on health department cars. I have, if you look inside your packet there's a transportation mobility guide that we put together. We have been over the last month and a half, and Cheryl's been involved in a little bit with it because anytime I got something to say, I call Cheryl and try to get it out there. But we took that mobility management guide or transportation guide and we turned it into a newspaper insert. So anything
So
that
the people who are watching this video right now,
Mhm.
how do they get a hold of you?
You want my phone number, Bill?
Well, they
Yeah.
want your phone number. How do they? get a
So
hold
my
of you?
office is out at Knox Public Health and the number is 740-392-2200 and I'm extension 2218. My email address is jporter@knoxhealth.com. And if you go up on Knox Public Health's website, you can access my webpage and there's contact information in there as well. But we also do have it out. We put it out in the newspapers. We're getting it out everywhere. One of the demographics that is really hard to reach, and a lot of our seniors and some of them don't use the internet. So the Knox Pages is great to get information out on if you use the internet. We put all the information in the town money saver, which goes into everybody's mailbox in Knox County. So we're trying to get that going out there too. So yeah, just a lot of stuff going on. I'd be happy to, because I can sit here and talk about this all day, and you guys don't want that. But any questions that anybody may have, if there are any questions that I can answer for you folks here today.
I was just thinking about the coordination of it, because it seems like sometimes we overlap services and people don't know about different
Yeah,
services.
a lot of what goes on, and that's a big problem, because the big thing is a lot of people don't know about the programs that are out there. We've had a lot of discussion, and I sit on a lot of different committees throughout the county and everything, and one thing that always comes up is how do you get information out to people? When I was growing up, you looked in the phone book, you had all the little newspapers and stuff like that. Now everybody's trying to do things through the internet, but we have a demographic. I mean, we have the senior demographic that doesn't use the internet a lot. We have the Amish demographic that doesn't use the internet. So, and everywhere I go in the county, the further you get away from the city of Mount Vernon, the less information seems to get out there. So I've gone back to some of the things I did before, and I go to public meetings. I go to senior centers. I'm all over the place in the county, trying to get the word out and get information out. But the coordination is the key.
Joe, how long has this program been in existence?
Bill would be able to answer that better than me, but I think 6 years, 7 years, maybe.
Yeah, because we had it down at CAT for many, and it was all because the state of Ohio brought out that grant program. So, yeah, it's probably about that length, 6 years.
And it's all working together and communicating and getting the information. But we're working really hard on that.
I know you are. You
Really
told me
hard
that
on
at the
that.
raccoon dinner last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
You said, my biggest challenge is getting the word out.
Yeah.
And the people that really need it the most are the ones that are toughest maybe to reach.
Yeah, and that's what it is. The ones that are really looking for the resources are the ones that are hard to get the information to.
Yeah.
And I won't keep you all day. I'll close you out with this. Close out my piece with this last thing. We've got another really cool program that's coming up. Actually, United Way's involved in it and all that. It's called Cycling Without Age. There's a little bit of information in your packet on that. But what Cycling Without Age is a program that involves a kind of a power assist tri-shawl bicycle that has a big thing. It's basically a rickshaw, and it's designed to be able to take seniors that can't get out safer on the bike trail or this and that and all that sort of stuff, to get them out. Because one of the big things we want to do, and I was involved some with the senior levy application and everything, we want seniors and folks to be able to stay home, but we also want them to be able to get out.
Sure.
So United Way has recently become an affiliate of Cycling Without Age, which actually started off in Copenhagen, Denmark. And so we're going to be laying that program out, and the goal is to be able to set up events to where seniors can come, nursing homes can bring folks in on their transportation buses and stuff, and they can have an afternoon getting a ride on the bike trail. So
You actually pick them up at their home and take them to the bike?
no, we thought about that, and the program started and is primarily based on nursing homes. And what happens is a lot of the programs take the tri-shawl to the nursing home and then they drive them around the neighborhood. Well, all of our nursing homes are on state highways, and you just don't put folks on the front of a tri-shawl and take them down Worcester Road. So what we're looking at doing is using the bike trail and some of the slower traffic areas in our villages and stuff. What we'd like to do is make it mobile. So if we can get the funding, we want to buy the equipment. We also want to have a trailer for where we can move it to Amity. On this.
To the bike trail at Amity?
No, but there are some quiet streets and roadways around Amity, so.
And hills.
And
You can't get
well,
to
that's what
Amity
the
from here,
electric
but-
assistant. So again,
Now, when do you think that program will be up and running?
where it is right now, they just got the affiliate. Walt Lewis and Katie over at United Way just got that set up. We have a meeting. We're actually doing a Teams meeting with the base, the base of the organization in Copenhagen next Monday morning. So we'll know more there. We actually went down, three of us went down to Columbus and looked at their tri-shawl and their cycling without age program, one of them down there. So United Way's on board with it. They've got the affiliate set up. We're having a Zoom meeting with Europe Monday morning to see what the next step is. Of course, it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
At the city council meeting, Tammy Wood asked me if I had a magic wand and I could make a wish, what would my biggest wish be? And I told her I'd say it was a very, very, very fruitful money tree. If we had a good money tree, we could do all sorts of things. But yeah, I'll know more after Monday where we're at with
Okay,
this stuff.
good.
So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
Good, good. Do you know how many calls you get inquiring?
Me,
Or-
just for things that I can help out with, and inquiries and stuff, I'm 20, 30, 40 calls a month, maybe. I get email stuff in since we started getting more information out. And it's really cool because Facebook has helped out, Knox Pages has helped out, but, it's starting to pick up. I will tell you, I'm able to help. There's probably 25% of the calls that I can't help with. Because we just simply don't have a resource. One of the big things we struggle with is we have folks that are at home that are kind of bed bound in a way. To get to a medical appointment, they need an ambulance.
Okay.
Medicare doesn't pay for an ambulance to take you from home to a medical appointment. Nobody pays for an ambulance to take you home, from home to a medical appointment, except, the NET program. That's it. And so we're trying to get an ambulance service on the NET program. But what we're into with that is ambulance services don't, again, I can sit here all day.
Comes back to funding.
It's back to funding, it's back to counting and stuff like that. But yeah, I get a number of calls. I get calls from the hospital, I get calls from private residences, I get calls from the nursing home. We've done some training with nursing homes and schools on how to properly load people on buses with wheelchairs and secure wheelchairs and stuff like that. So yeah, you see me all over the place and stuff, but I do on those calls for help and stuff. There are a number of them that I can't help out with, but we're getting there. We're trying to get an RSVP program, a retired senior volunteer program into Knox County. We have a thing with the hospital. If you have an outpatient procedure, they will not schedule you unless you have somebody that will be with you whenever you're discharged. We have a lot of folks in the county that have nobody. So they're not getting some of their medical procedures because they don't have anybody ride the bus home with them. So we're trying to get a program going to help out with that.
So Joe, I have one more question,
Mhm.
and it might be a little deeper than I think, but. So this is 6 or 7 years old. You've been doing it for how long?
About a year and a half. It was
So
October. of
it
years
seemed
ago.
like for 6 or 7 years, this thing has never gotten off the ground. It's kind of,
It's,
Coming on
it's
the
a
ground.
deep hole.
yeah, that's what I say. So it all comes back to funding in reality. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Funding is part of it, coordination is part of it.
Communication, coordination.
Communication is a big part of it.
Okay.
Support, community support.
Yeah.
And again, George and Crystal have known me for
Yeah.
20-some years, so going out and talking to people and trying to get support is pretty easy for me to do.
Right.
And where things were with the program previously, Bill can.
Right, yeah, no, I
talk
just,
more on that, so. Cause I drove a bus for 2 years before I
Yeah.
started.
And Station Break does some of the senior aid as well as our transit system. Does one of those offer more than the other for these types of services?
What you get into and when it comes to Station Break, and I don't want to speak for Meredith, she's the director down there and stuff, but Well, let me back up. Your most robust transportation program in the county is Knox County Transit. And I'll throw this out there, since I've started doing this and been interacting with programs all over the state of Ohio. For a rural transit system, you have probably the most robust rural transit system in the state of Ohio. You have your program here, Knox County Transit does things that other transit systems are looking down here and saying, how are you doing? So we should be very, very happy and feel fortunate on that. Station Break has an awesome transportation program too. Both programs are struggling with being able to hire people that want to drive. Okay, so that's part of it.
Pay him more.
Yeah, well, and that's the money. You
Which
need
would
money.
be these guys.
Yeah. So, when it comes to Station Break and Knox County Transit, for example, Station Break, you're limited to 60 and over. Okay, so those services are available for folks that are 60 and over. Station Break is a donation program. They have a recommended donation for rides and stuff like that. But when you look at our senior population and availability, for Meredith's program down at Station Break, there are a lot of times that they don't have a driver.
Right.
Particularly on the out of town stuff. I know she's trying to hire some out of town folks and all that. Knox County Transit, Bethany is trying to hire drivers too. And, so availability becomes a problem, on that end too, because they simply don't have the staffing to be able to do it. Cost wise. Again, being the guy I am, if you're a senior and you're riding somewhere inside Knox County, your most cost effective ride is Knox County Transit. If you're going outside the county, at this point, your most cost effective ride is Station Break. And a lot of that depends on availability, and those programs do interact. If Station Break cannot take a trip, they will, try to get them over to Knox County Transit and vice versa. So they provide similar services. Some of the things, Knox County Transit, versus the Station Break point, if you will. Station Break can do ADA, they can do wheelchairs and whatnot. But there are some folks in wheelchairs out there that, the chair itself weighs about 400 pounds. And you can't get that in a minivan. And that's the program that Station Break uses as a minivan. The Knox County Transit program, all the buses have lifts that have 1,000-pound capacity on them. So that's a difference with them and all that. So do they provide similar services? Yes. A lot of it's based on availability and yeah. And we are a very, very busy community. There are a lot of folks that ride alternative transportation.
Very much appreciated, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
All right,
Yeah.
Sure, I'll see you soon, I guess.
you will. We're gonna put you to work.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Drivers needed.
See y'all later.
Yeah, I might want to do that.
Oh.
We're ready?
Yes.
We're ready.
We need to have you approve a public notice for public hearing number 1 for the CDBG program, and this is to discuss the program grants available through the Ohio Department of Development, and that'll be held on April 22nd at 10 a.m. in the Commissioner's Office conference room.
Take a motion.
Motion approved.
I second it.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Then we have for consideration of public notice to hold the 2 public meetings required for the comprehensive plan, and we had talked about this on Tuesday, and the proposed times would be April 15th at 6 o'clock in our Commissioner conference room, and then Tuesday, April 22nd at 10:30 in the conference room.
So take a motion for that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I would mention that on the comprehensive plan, I have tons of editorial changes that I had given that were not done. So there's gonna be, I'll probably put together a 5-page list.
Like
of
by
those things.
revisions list, a revisions list.
Yes, yeah.
Do you feel it's, you're capable of getting those done before those meeting dates?
Well, I have my copy here that I took an hour to talk to Jeff Godke.
The meeting date isn't so much, we still have to approve it.
We
after
still
the
got to
meeting date,
approve it,
So.
It would be with these revisions involved in it.
Okay, approve a public notice to advertise for bids in the Mount Vernon News for the county engineer annual resurfacing 2025 project.
Motion to approve.
Second
Those in favor say aye.
it? Aye.
And then another advertisement for bid in the Mount Vernon News for the Knox County Engineer Mishi Road resurfacing project.
Motion to approve?
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then public notice advertisement for bid in the Mount Vernon News for the county engineer asphalt patching material 2025.
Motion to approve.
I second it?
And those in favor say aye.
Okay, and then we opened bids, I think, was it last week, Penny, on this project. So this is the first one we had ready. We had one bid. This is for the flooring at Opportunity Knox Employment Center. And the cost came in at $116,470.58. And this was budgeted when we did our annual capital budget for 2025.
Motion to approve?
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have the county treasurer's depository income report in the amount of $147,814.30 and general fund interest of $12,914.56 and program income of $2.13.
Motion to approve.
And those in favor say aye. Okay.
County engineer sent an agreement down for Burgess and Nyepel for the county engineer bridge load rating, and they'll be doing 84 bridges, and the amount would be $168,200, and this will be funded by the county engineer.
Motion to approve?
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Will require all three of your signatures. And then we have a series of utility permits here, so this is county engineer day.
Yes.
This is for Knox Energy Co-op on Monroe Mills Road.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
We have another one for Ohio Cumberland Gas on Lower Fredericktown Amity Road.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Then we have utility permit for Brightspeed, and this is on the Rich Hill Road.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Those in favor say aye. Aye.
All right.
Another Brightspeed on White Road in Hilliard Township.
Do we know what Brightspeed's doing there? Is that just,
That used to be CenturyLink.
motion to approve and
Yeah. So second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Okay.
Okay, and then we have another Brightspeed of Ohio, and this is on the
White Road?
White Road again. Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second it?
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right.
Brightspeed on Old Mansfield Road, Morris Township.
Motion to approve.
I second
Those in favor say aye.
All right.
it.
So what do you want to clean all these out today?
Aye.
And then the last one is utility permit Brightspeed of Ohio on Columbus Road, Clinton Township.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
And we have approved lease agreement with Modern Office Methods for the Knox County Board of Elections copier, and this is going through Chip, and it's ready for your bill for you to sign in 15 places.
Yeah. I need a motion.
Motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve?
Second.
And those in favor say aye.
All right.
You have one transfer to sign today. This is just a budgetary item for soil and water. He has an agreement with the auditor's office through the REA program to do their CAUB assessment for them this year. So that's what that transfer is. You have to go with us.
Denise, 139,750 quarterly senior levy, that's from a previous levy that we're doling these funds
Yeah,
out.
that's the new levy that was just approved, so that's the first payment
First
under the
payment.
new grant, they get it first part of April.
Okay.
So that's getting all of it being released.
Right. Oh, I gotta get that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's. Me and Julian read here and they talked about, this is what, I'm trying to say, what programs that they're looking at doing, but they'll have this hearing to get input on. This, where the eligible potential you apply for $500,000 in critical infrastructure money. And so we have to decide what we want in that, to go into that application, and she kind of has a list of potential things that we could do that we've kind of accumulated, and so that they do that hearing, we kind of start that process. And if you know when the CDBG grant is due, is it like June or August?
June 11th,
June 11th.
and that's public hearing number one. We
Yeah,
will have to
that-
do number two. The first week of June, I believe, is scheduled.
Okay. And you'll get more
Yeah, she
information
will,
on that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Whole state.
Yes, yeah, so they're pastors from.
Okay.
We're just a distribution center.
It's from the Ohio Department of Development, where we received the funding from.
Big fees just go through that, I think.
Bill, I just have a few updates for the commissioner today, nothing major. I just, let you know the HVAC project here in the service center is complete. So there were 90 units that were replaced. And that project is done, and they've now shifted over to the courthouse to start working on some of that HVAC issues over there. But yeah, the 90 units were here. We're pleased. They did a great job getting in and out. It was not easy to, get them out of the ceilings. You got dropped. Every office, they had to drop the ceiling tiles, go in, do the work, come back. So they were very efficient after they got rolling, and the 90 units are done and we're operational there. So I'm gonna pass that along. We talked the other day about, we had a request from Ohio Newsroom on the One Ohio. They wanted to talk about some funding there. So I've got a meeting set up with them Monday to go through our funding. And then I've also asked Lisa Lyons to join me because she's on our local county group with Kay Sturgill. So she's gonna come up and talk about kind of their process that they're gonna look at to award this. So I'll do the funding piece and she can kind of help me out with that piece. So she'll be here Monday for that. And then I had a college student down in Dayton reach out. They were doing a project on county budgeting, and she had quite the list of questions, more than Cheryl usually would have. So, I have a call set up with her next week as well, like they're doing a school project or something, so. I'm just kind of going through those kind of things that she wanted to talk about county budgeting, so I got that set for next week to meet her. And I think, other than that, we'll be out at the county engineer's office this afternoon at 1:30, or 1 to tour his facility. And that's all I have for you today.
Good, have anything you want to?
Just that I have the Family and Children First Council meeting next week, and then with the Visitors Bureau, and just working all that, and excited about next year because we're gonna celebrate our America's 250th birthday. I can't say that enough.
Barry?
Yeah, I went to the fair board meeting last night. Some lucky winner won $10,000 in a reverse raffle. Wasn't me, by the way.
So great.
I might have taken the day off. I don't know, but their barn is a week delayed, their new barn, because of weather. They think the shell will be done in about 4 or 5 weeks, so they should be on target even with that. And I have a couple questions that they asked me to bring forward to Chip McConville, our prosecutor. But other than that, everything else is good.
So the building will be ready for the fair then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be on time.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just a post off building shell. There's no insulation drywall or anything like that going in.
Oh, it'll be used.
It's a hog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. And then the three of us will be going to the Fredericktown FFA bank tonight. And then the three of us are meeting with Cheryl Subler, who is the president and CEO of the County Commissioners Association, and John Light, who is also working. And then as we go out to the engineer's office, so people know we're making sure that we go to all the facilities and properties that the county owns, so that we are familiar with their needs, and so that's one of the things we'll be doing with the county commissioner, this engineer, this afternoon. And then, we're expecting a great supper at Fredericktown FFA tonight, and that'll be a good thing.
You know what's on the menu?
Yeah, we've already ordered. Yeah, and then so as to public participation comment, Crystal, did you have anything?
Oh, I do.
Could you stand up and say your name and address, please?
My name's Crystal McElhaney. I'm the Milford Township Fiscal Officer, so I live in Milford Township. This has been laying on my heart for a while, and I called George Rockers, my trustee. And he's recently retired and agreed to come. So
Congratulations, George.
I usually come by myself. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. It's concerning the comprehensive plan. Milford Township, right before COVID hit, started renewing the zoning resolution because we saw Intel's input, and we're within 20 to 30 minutes from Intel where we live. And COVID hit, and the zoning commission kind of had to put it on hold. But while it was on hold, the committee realized that they did not have enough knowledge to rewrite this resolution. So they came to the trustees and asked if they could hire a company. And they hired Land for Land. And he worked with us for what, 2 years? And our resolution's gonna have its 1-year anniversary this month. And I've been kind of following the Zoom meetings, and I did participate in the December 4th meeting in Hilliard. People weren't happy. They were okay with the outcome, like the gentleman said.
Right.
That was true. But if you look at the input they got from our area, it's very, very small. People didn't know about the survey. I happened to come upon it because I think I follow you guys on Facebook, which was wonderful. I got the link there. Some of my trustees didn't know about it. That's kind of my bad. I'm sorry. But all in all, that meeting went okay. I did suggest something about Sycamore Road, but it was more of a complaint. Semis are taking that road for now. We're used to the grain semis, but these are freights. And they're not taking 36. They're taking us. Now we understand 36 is down in our area. They even use our back roads. They use Bishop, which is a road. So improving Sycamore, I don't know exactly where that came from, but it is getting busier.
Yeah.
And
I think the comprehensive plans, I don't mean to interrupt you, says widen and improve Sycamore Road, and we took the word extend out of there.
oh
because
yeah,
There was
There was no
nowhere
place to
to
extend it.
extend Sycamore Road, but
yeah.
I think that's, if I remember right, how that reads in the comprehensive
And
plan.
we do have an Amish community. I want you guys to know that they take Sycamore a lot to get their jobs. What concerned me most was the February 17th special meeting. And you guys can get this Zoom meeting from the City of Mount Women's YouTube page, and that's what I did last night. About 1 hour and 10 minutes in, Mr. Gaki explains how the comprehensive plan can be used in court. And that really has us concerned because we spent a little under 7,000 to get our resolution rewritten. And you can find gray areas in any document that you create. And he used the word foggy. And I'm not gonna quote him, but he said not clear. And my idea of this comprehensive plan was like a 5-year business plan. That wouldn't hold any plowed in for. So I was just wanting to know, before you guys go into these public meetings, if you could get clarification from Chip, if it's usable. And I know you said you got a lot.
Yeah.
That you want done with it, and I was gonna ask where I could get the updated
Yeah.
version, but I guess I don't.
It's not done yet, yeah.
Yeah, because we do have a copy, I hold that as the.
I
record.
could stand corrected here, but I'm, from my understanding through these meetings and through other people who have had legal issues with this, your township zoning regulations are the standard of anything that goes forward. The comprehensive plan is correct. It is a guide. It is not enforced by law. I think when Mr. Gaki mentioned court, it was for grants and or some other things, because a lot of the grants look at it, if you don't have a comprehensive plan, it's harder to get some of the money.
Okay.
But what I've tried to tell all the trustees that I've met with at the RPC meeting, your zoning regulations take place over anything in that comprehensive plan. And I had this conversation with another trustee last Thursday, the meeting? That they didn't want farmland to go away. And I said, you have to make your zoning represent that. There's nothing in it.
He mentioned in the December 4th meeting.
Yeah.
That he wanted a good view of the county coming in, so if you had housing that was spotty and then farm work in the business.
Yeah.
That probably wasn't a good,
Yeah, not a good look, yeah.
and I'm thinking, in our area. Farmers wanna farm up against 36, because of
Sure.
their land.
Yeah.
But anyhow, he did say if our zoning was confusing. So anyhow, I just wanna ask that you,
We'll look at the judicial part of
I
that comprehensive
appreciate
plan.
that, and I wanna appreciate the fact that you said we had a say.
Yeah, well,
Because
We do.
this whole time, we have been told you have a say. But not a vote, and it's kind of been. That's wrong.
grassroots government starts with your trustees.
Well, I know that.
And I will say this again, even though we're recorded. A lot of townships aren't represented well when it comes to the trustees showing up for some of these meetings, and that's where your issue lies sometimes. And I mean, if you go to an RPC meeting and there's 6 people there and 2 of them are from the same township. I don't know if that's equal and fair representation.
No, that's.
So I mean, you have to get people in these townships involved to show up for stuff so that. Your people in the township have an equal voice, and that's one of my biggest issues is the representation that you receive
I
from.
wish they would have come to us earlier than December.
But,
Crystal, I did hear that comment that concerned you, and I think it raised some other concerns. We will talk to Mr. Jeff
Since
McConnell
I'm
and,
not a paying
Right,
entity, I didn't
and
know if I
make
had the
sure
ability
that
to
that
talk to
cannot,
them.
No,
So
but we
I
don't, we want to make sure that doesn't.
no, you're a
no way
fiscal
to-
officer, you can talk to Chip.
Yeah, but this isn't our, we've been told that we don't, we have an opinion but not a say, and you guys are a paying entity. What are there 3 or 4 of you that are paying for this plan?
Well, that has nothing to do about.
Oh, that's it's been portrayed.
Well, I'm not sure who portrayed that to, because, you know, it's an RPC thing. You have representation in RPC because you guys are members, right?
Well, that's good to know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so as to people not knowing about it, it's been going on for a couple years.
There's that, yeah.
And if they don't know about it, it's because they haven't been going to RPC meetings.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't been
And
sending a representative,
Representative did report on this, and she came in about halfway through all the meetings and said, they're not talking about townships, they're talking about the city of Knox. And she was a little discouraged, and
yeah, I can see it.
but just to let you know, right around my house, 260 acres is sold to someone. That sold their home to Enco. And it is impacting Milford Township, and there's another 20 or 40 acres between George and I. That we believe came from Intel. So it is, there are zoning resolutions important.
Have you completed that resolution?
Oh, yeah, I brought it with me.
Did you?
It's, your comprehensive plan is not a, it's thicker than our resolution, but it was well written and it. Anyhow, yeah, it's. gonna
Can we have a
hearing.
copy of that so we can give that to Chip as well?
It'll be good.
They'll have it.
Yeah.
RPC.
Because I learned that was something we had to do, so I recorded it. And, but I appreciate your guys' time, and I think you have brought this up 2 or 3 times this year. Milford Township about the
have.
road grant
Oh,
and
yeah,
the tire recycling, and George can tell you about that, because he wrote the grant.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crystal.
yeah, George, will you stand up and
Sure.
give your name, because there's people watching you right now on TV.
The price is right, George.
I even dressed up. 'Cause ever since I've been retired, it was all brown for 35 years, but now I'm starting to get a little bit of color, even though it's monocolor. But thanks for letting me speak, you guys. I appreciate what you do. I didn't get your name,
Jason.
Jason. Some of this may have to do with you. Appreciate Joe's mobility impact throughout the county, because driving these roads for 35 years, I've seen some things that need worked on in order to get people to places better. Just an example, there's a nursing home on 36 that a couple of the people that are motor wheelchairs bound, they'll run out into 36. Now they have flags, which is something that's great, but really it's just a matter of a sidewalk, something like that has to be done, but it is through 36. The comprehensive plan was something that Crystal was concerned about. We are too. But we've been well represented at RPC with Chris Caldwell, so she's kind of let us know what's going on and voiced some concerns about it. I had voiced some concerns through the online. You could submit some concerns online, so I did that. Once I read it, one of the things you had mentioned Brightspeed coming, and actually is that broadband?
Yeah, it should be, but I can't specifically because they apply for those through the county engineer
And then
office.
they don't
And
really
he
tell you.
goes, well, he approves those, but Penny could probably look on the application and it would tell you specifically what they're bringing into that area.
Concerned through the comprehensive plans, I don't know if you guys addressed that a whole lot. There's money out there, but it hasn't been spent for some reason. But we suffer in broadband access out where we live. It's probably the same in different parts of the county. That may address some of the concerns about giving some of the information out, because if you're stuck on a slower speed, it becomes a pain in the butt to kind of get on the internet and to actually navigate through there. That was a concern. You're going to see, I suppose you all are going to see the county engineer this afternoon. The snow removal in our area from the county was lacking this year. Just having drove the road so much, there was numerous times when really nothing was done when there was ice on the road. So I expressed my concern through Clint and through the county engineer's office, but if you guys say something, maybe it means something more for us, but I realize we're in the corner. So Mount Vernon's in the middle. That's basically where the garages are at. We're probably some of the last to get some of the snow removal out there. So I understand that part, but I was concerned about that. The tire grant that we have is going to be May 17th. And it'll be a maximum of 10 tires per resident, and we'll ask for ID to make sure they are residents. We'll see how it goes. I imagine it'll go pretty well. People have tires laying around. But that was easily accessible, and I'm sure that any township that if they took the time to go ahead and fill out that grant, they could get it. But we see that as a problem in our area.
First time for this, George?
It is for us, yeah, it is for us. They will pay for the dumpster. They will pay we will pay 80% of the disposal fee, so we'll collect a little bit of money and break even that way. The other couple things, and I had mentioned earlier, Joe had problems with getting people to, and Bill, you worked there, I'm understanding at CAT. I thought some of the wages were kind of low as I reviewed that. I reviewed the employment opportunities regularly. Now, I will commend you in the last 2 years, it has come up. You guys have spent the time to pay people better there than it was before. It was really low before, but that's what we found. In order to retain good people, we've had to pay them more, and it really works out in the end because you don't have the turnover and you get better quality of work because they want to be there, you know. But I commend you guys for bringing up the wages that you have, but it could probably go up a little bit more.
And I'll speak to that, because that's a department that I oversee on behalf of the commissioners, and I don't disagree with you. By doing that, the county general fund has had to subsidize transit $250,000 this year. That can't be sustained by the county general fund, because it's really a standalone department that's supposed to operate. And the federal funding has been cut such over the last couple of years, which then the state has less funding to come in. The only way to really make it profitable to increase wages is to reduce services.
Yeah.
And that's not a good answer. So that's really the struggle we're constantly fighting, is how much can we take the wages up? But every time we increase the wages $1, the county's gonna have to pick it up and subsidize it more.
Somewhere
And
in
it
between.
just, yeah, and so I don't disagree with you at all. We've done everything we can to try to get it to the point that we can. But it used to be a project, you know, I've been at the county 8.5 years. We used to fund them about $30,000 a year was the county contribution, and we're to 250,000 because of those reductions and the subsidies needed to keep the program going.
Sure.
So that's really the struggle. Like Joe's in, everybody comes in to tell the commissioners, we need more transportation, we need more services.
Right.
And it's so difficult because where is the funding to provide to pay the employees what you need to get a good quality workforce? And the drivers do a great job. Transit director's been doing a great job. All of that is working, but how do you get the wages where you want to get them with the budget that you have? And I think the county commissioners kind of the point of, hey, we've drawn the line that no more increase. Now, the city did increase their contribution from 25 to 50 this year. So that's obviously helped a little bit, but that is the constant struggle.
When was the last time you raised prices?
Prices, well, yeah, part of the deal on the
Yeah.
prices,
Yeah.
if we raise fees, the federal government takes money away from us.
So whatever we collect in fees, they reduce that from our allocation. So
So it's a balancing
it
act.
doesn't do much. for
Yeah,
you.
and you guys obviously have done a good job through Joe's comments and from what I see, you know. Like I said, I commend you for raising the wages that you could, but there's a balancing act there. I think you're stuck between a rock and a hard place once it comes to that. The Knox Community Hospital recently, not recently, but a few years ago, put a satellite office for out in the Centerburg area. There's a dearth of urgent care opportunities between Mount Vernon and Sunbury. There's nothing. From what I understood, that was there was plans in the future to make that an urgent care, but nothing's really happened. I've had some residents ask me why, just because I'm in the area, why that hasn't been done, and you guys probably have nothing to do with that. But that is a concern of mine, and you probably go to the county hospital board to say something like that. Is that the?
It's under their.
Yeah, so it's just lacking in our area. Sheriff Weckesser's office has recently updated their reporting software, so he is able to now share with us the crime reports for the area. It's something that I've shared with the community for years. People appreciate that, but it went through a couple months where they couldn't quite figure it out because Sheriff Schaefer and I had a good relationship, and he would share that stuff with us. It's good to get that information out because if you have a couple of burglaries or a couple of home invasions in an area, you're able to. Word of mouth is the best way, and that usually happens. But a lot of people are so in their own place now that the only place they get that information is on the internet. And to get that information out and let people know that something's going around in your area that they may need to watch out for is important to us. So I appreciate him and wanted to say something to him about that. But that's all I got. The east-west corridor, you've got a great one with 36. But the improvements needed to make Sycamore Road passable, that's gonna cost a lot of money. to get semi-traffic on there on a regular basis around those curves and to widen that, I'm not sure you have an idea how much that would
Oh,
cost.
God, I don't.
Yeah, but that's gonna be,
Well, Sycamore Road has been on the radar since about 1967.
we call it Slickamore.
Oh, what?
It's Slickamore. It's Slickamore because at least UPS guys would call it Slickamore because of trying to travel that area and to deliver off that, but thanks you guys.
There's a few hills there that you could actually almost deploy your airbags if you don't slow down.
Yeah, airborne is
Yes,
something that brings to mind that
Yes.
point through there, but
yes.
thanks.
Thank you.
George.
Yeah.
Thank you, George, and thank you for your service as a trustee.
Betcha.
Thank you.
And do you have anything you'd like to share?
Well, I don't know if I would like to, but I'm going to do it.
Could you stand up and say your name for those?
Could I just sit down there or not? Can I sit down?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you have, just 3 minutes because we have to go
Yeah,
someplace.
for God's sake, if I could do something in 3 minutes. Yeah. Never done anything like this, Ms. Brenda. I heard what happened to you last week.
Excuse me, your name and
Oh.
where you're from.
I'm Grandma Barbara, and I'm Barbara Guadagnino. I go by Grandma Barbara.
You called me. Thank you for your call.
Yes, I did. I have called you through various phases.
And where are you from?
Well, I'm living in Fredericktown.
Okay.
Thank you. And I voted for every one of you, thank God. Hey, I had an A in college speech, and you know what? I am absolutely terrified. I woke up this morning and I knew that I had to come down here and I had to speak to you and to the others about you know what. Okay, let's not even say. So I'm only rough drafting it. I thought I might lose my nerve if I didn't do something. So away we go. I actually brought something. I wanted to leave notes for the minutes of the meeting, but I'll make them more proper, but I'm using this as a reference for one of my legal points, or maybe not legal. So first of all, I'm gonna just read this and forgive me if I'm just looking silly. I'm getting to be an eccentric old woman. Dorinda, I want to thank you with all of the pressure that has been on you, that you keep showing up at this meeting. And anyway, I've got, the purpose of this meeting is to say that I would like to see you stay for the duration. It's not that I agree or disagree, but just as a hint, I follow Laurel Lee Thompson words to a T, and I've heard all of the smut on you you'd ever want to hear. And I'm just saying, she could correct in kindness, and I would hate for someone to drag out my past. So I've got 3 things here on my appeal. I want to legally amend our constitutional amendment, Amendment 5, which is your legal right to sit in this meeting. I have a biblical passage for this, which is why I gave that to you. And it is Luke 4, and I'll tell you the verse in a minute. I'm too nervous to tell you what it is from memory. And then Knox pages is my verification that you've kept your word when I put my 2 signs out front.
You have 1 minute.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go real fast. Commissioner Drenda Pesey advocated for a county-wide ban, and I wanted to thank you for that. Now, the amendment number 5, which is a certain, no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment of indictment of the grand jury. So you have every right to be here. And you have the Lord's sentiment. If you have done something you shouldn't have done, which I don't know, it says this, Jesus himself proclaimed this. And it's in Luke 4:18. This is why he came. We're all in the same camp. Every one of us who's part of this whole deal. And this is a church matter. This is a family matter. I'm in your family, and I might disagree or agree, but this is why Jesus came. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me.
So finish that
Because-
and then you'll be done.
Well, I may not be done, but I will quit. Okay. Okay, shall we receive this in the name and blood of Jesus? This is what I pray over our community of Christians. And I thank the non-committee, the non-Christians for listening to our family public situation. Are you ready? This is why he came. I love you in the Lord.
Thank you, Barbara. I don't know
This-
you, but thank you.
The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And that would be Jesus speaking. And he spoke in front of the synagogue because he has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and sight to the blind, to set the liberty.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Barbara. One of my favorite scriptures.
Well, praise God.
Thank you
So-
for mission.
So that concludes our business, unless you have other things there, Barry.
Thank you for those two.
A motion to adjourn.
So we stand adjourned at this time. Thank you. Because we need to